everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Claudia. So if you are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. And of course, if you're someone who does follow me and you're one of my regulars, thank you so much for your support. I do appreciate everyone who's been supporting my channel. It's been an incredible journey. And the more support that I can get from all of you, the more videos and more content that I can produce for you. So if you're not a subscriber, I hope you'll subscribe today. And if you like my video, please give me a like. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into what I'm going to be talking about today. So I've been going back and forth about doing a review, or not a review, just an informational video on how I store my luxury. So I know a lot of people do a lot of different things. So I just wanted to share with you what I do to store my luxury items. And then of course, I would love to hear what you guys think. And if there's something that you're doing that's different than what I'm doing, let's collaborate and let's talk, because I would love to hear. I'm always interested in hearing from other people and what other people do. So again, by no means, I'm not the expert in everything. So I do love to hear feedback from all of you. So some of the things that I do when I store my luxury, I mean, you guys usually see all my items in the back. They're usually in the cabinets. And that's really how I store my items. I do not use the dust bags, those really pretty dust bags that you get when you purchase your items from, whether it's Louis Vuitton or Gucci or Valentino, I mean, whatever, Prada. They are really nice dust bags, but I do not use them. Before I did my renovation here, I know it's on my channel now, I did this whole new design here. I used to actually have all my bags in my closet, in my master closet that I shared with my husband. But the master closet was really close to the bathroom. So I was always really worried about all the humidity that may travel into the closet, because my husband likes to take really hot showers. It's almost like a sauna in there. So I was always really worried about mold and things like that. So luckily I was able to move all my stuff to a separate room, just because I didn't want to worry about that. I will say for years, I had my bags in dust bags in my closet close to the bathroom, and I never had any issues, no mold, nothing. So I do think that there is value in storing your bags in luxury items in their dust bags. I do think that there's a lot of value in that. But I will say, for me personally, now that I actually have a designated space that's only my space, no one else is in this space but me. And it's usually when I'm recording videos or if I buy new merchandise. But this is my room that no one else comes across. And I really don't feel the need to keep my stuff in bags. I will say one of the things that I didn't like before about keeping my things in the dust bags was that I couldn't see them. I like to look at my items. And if you're like me, even if you have one or two, or if you have one item, I want to be able to walk past and look at it. I want to be able to look at it, and I want to be able to enjoy what I bought. And I felt like before, with all the dust bags, they were all just really crowded in my closet. And sometimes I didn't even know what, I would forget what I had in there, or I was too lazy to take it out of the bag and things like that. So I love having things displayed. And one of the things to think about if you're trying to figure out if your space, if you should keep things in a dust bag, in my experience, if you're in an area where there's high traffic, I would definitely recommend maybe keeping them in your dust bags and then letting them breathe. Pull them in and out, maybe every other week, pull them out and let them breathe for a day, and then put them back in your dust bags. But for me, because I'm in a space where I don't have any traffic, it's just me, it's been interesting. I've actually had this new space here for about 6 months now, and I've only dusted a few times. I have not seen any dust on any of my bags. Even the area, it's not even collecting dust, but again, it's because I'm not in a high traffic area. Of course, you have to think about, your ventilation system in your house and things like that to see if it's an area where you're going to get a lot of dust. But again, I don't really accumulate any dust up here. So for me, it's been kind of nice. I'm able to display everything that I have, and I'm able to, when I come up here and I want to switch out my bag, or if I'm going on a date night or on a vacation, I'm able to really look at everything, and I'm able to just grab what I need and things like that. So that's one thing to think about if you're trying to figure out your space. Is it a high traffic area? And if it is, you're probably going to get more dust, and you may want to keep your items in a dust bag. The other thing that I will mention is that I do not, you can see there's a window behind me, but I keep the blinds shut, and I keep the curtains a little bit open to get some natural sunlight in here. But my bags are not in direct sunlight at all. I know I've watched some videos where some people have destroyed their bags because maybe they left their bag outside, or maybe it's a bag that they were always wearing in the summer where there was a lot of sunlight. And sometimes you can see some fading and things like that. So none of my bags are in direct sunlight. So if you have a space with Windows, I would recommend having some type of window treatment. And there's nothing wrong with opening it and having some natural sunlight, but I would definitely not recommend having direct sunlight. I think that could be pretty dangerous for your leather bags. The other thing that I'll mention is I do tend to keep this room a little cooler, so it's never really hot in here and it's never super cold. It's just a very cool temperature. So that's another thing to think about. It's never really hot. So I do let, and this room only has one vent, so I just keep it closed, and this room's cool all year round. So even right now, it's getting a little bit, we're in the fall now, and I still don't have heat coming into this room, again, because I like it cooler. And I think it's good for all of your merchandise as well. And one of the things that I will mention that I do tend to do with all of my bags is if I have a bag with a chain, I do tend to protect the chain, especially if it's going to be sitting on, you know, on my shelf. I'll give you an example here, like this Gucci bag. This bag, I actually have the chain. You can see the chain that's sitting there. If I didn't have that little dust bag, I actually just use the dust bags. I know some people will use tissue and like other creative things, but you know, I have all these dust bags that I don't even use anyway. So I use a dust bag, and all I do is really just sit it on the bag. Like you can see here, it's sitting there. I lay it there and then I just fold it over. And a lot of the reasons why I do that is because I don't want the chain to be sitting on the leather. You know, over time, it could dent your bag. It's never happened to me with any of my bags. So what I do, I just tend to tuck the chain into the actual bag and then just support it this way. And also if you're traveling, I think that's a really good idea as well to try to support those chains, because if you have this in a suitcase and it's smashed down, I mean, just think about that. If you have a ton of stuff in your suitcase and this is smashed down and your chain does not have any support or any padding, that chain is just going to get dented. And I have seen videos of people who have had like indentations on their leather, and I'm assuming it probably goes away, but I don't know, and I don't want to really find out. So that's one way, one thing that I use that. And I will say one really good thing about the dust bags is I think they're incredible for traveling. You know, I will say anytime that I travel, I always put my items, whether it's a belt or even if it's a belt, an accessory item, a small handbag, I always take my bags with me. It just gives me extra protection and just peace of mind knowing that my items are a little protected, especially if you have makeup or other things in your bags. You don't want something to kind of fall on your bag. So I do keep everything stored when I travel. But aside from that, I mean, I don't use the dust bags. I do have a duster, which I will show you guys that I purchased on Amazon. I can actually include a link for you guys, but I use this duster, and what I'll do is like every few weeks, I'll move my items and I'll just dust. But like I'm saying, I haven't had any dust. So I haven't really seen a whole lot of dust in the last 6 months. But I do want to show you quickly what I use to dust. So this is what I use to dust my bags. And again, this is just a standard duster that I found on Amazon. And the reason why I went with this one was because I was searching and Googling how to dust my luxury or what to use to dust my cabinets for my luxury leather goods. And I know sometimes they say that depending on what type of duster you use, it could have some oils that could kind of get onto your leather goods. I don't think this has anything. And if it does, I have not seen any issues with any of my bags. So I did want to mention that. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I think for the most part, you guys can see my layout here, and I do have everything in cabinets. And if you look at my video, I do have a video that I'm going to put at the end of this video so that you can look at some of the ways that I store my accessory items, like my belts and things like that, and my straps. And some of you guys know that I collect a lot of shoulder straps from different bags just because I love my bags to look different. So that video will be coming soon. But yeah, check out my video on my just how I store my actual luxury items. I think that'll be really good for you to look at, just the layout of what I did to store my items. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys.